All right, click the links for Odyssey, Bit Chute, Gab, Telegram. Good luck over there. There's some free speech platforms, and they really, really mean it. So I've got this kind of lazy stalker who comes like once a month to remind me about like something about the BLT community. I think he thinks I have an issue with them, and it's like I'm very honest on Telegram and Gab. Obviously not on YouTube, but I can say here and I'll say there, as I've said before on all cross platforms. I don't have an issue with the BLT community. I don't know why you're sending me crime stats of trans people who are being attacked. It's like, you think I'm attacking trans people? I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this. If you think I don't have sympathy for victims of crime or the whole, I feel like other YouTubers get cooler stalkers. Like, I need a higher class of stalker. I've got this guy who's obsessed with Laverne Coe, some kind of model or actor or something. It's like that. Who's that guy who did that show? Oh God, he's like this 8 foot tall black guy. He's this comedian, and he dresses like a chick. Oh no, wait. There's two tall black guys who dress like chicks. One. Oh shit. What's the one guy's name? He does like the really dumb comedy, but you watch it and it's like, it's kind of catchy. Even South Park said that. And then there's that other giant black guy who dresses like a chick, and he's got like a show. I think I would probably put a gun in my mouth and play Russian roulette before I sat down and watch a show like that. But so this is another probably giant black guy, Laverne Coe, some kind of model or something. Anyway, my stalker sends me pictures of this, but I need a better class of stalker. Like somebody, I don't know, send feet pictures or something. Why can't I have a stalker who like sends hate mail like on $20 bills? That would be cool. They'd probably send anthrax or something. But actually, this stalker doesn't seem dangerous. He just seems really obsessed with Laverne Coe. It's like, hey man, live your best life, dude. I'll say that here. I'll say that on Telegram. Live your best life, as long as like you're making the decisions and like there's not some puppet master behind the scenes. Anyway, what a weird intro. Weird intro Wednesday. So everything kind of on bounding into comics is the G word for lighthearted and frivolous. Oh, is that why you're stalking me? Because I use gay as a pejorative, jokingly, humorously? I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking with all that kind of bundles of sticks stuff. Don't take anything you hear on the internet seriously. Don't take anything from me seriously. So all this stuff, the DC, and then there's Disney down here too. The happiest place on earth. Maybe if you're a groomer, it's the happiest place on earth. So I know Disney and DC are not the same company, but really kind of spiritually they are the same company. So from Disney and the Hollywood stuff, from DC to Disney, Hollywood pop culture, whatever you want to call this kind of like plastic F-doll Weimar America, I don't know what it is. It's like, I think people now are finally starting to see through this propaganda, because people are kind of leaving TV behind and they're going to social media. And even on Twitter, people are kind of trying to peel back the curtain a little bit on Twitter. Like I spent like an hour today on Twitter, which is not good. And then I spent like 10 minutes on Gab, and it's like, you start to peek behind the curtain. It's like, what's that? The meme now is the naked woman in a sundress. The woman in the sundress without any underwear, and the sunlight is, I don't know. It's for some reason it's some kind of meme. It seems like it would be an 80s album cover or something, like a girl with boots, cowboy hat, sundress, and no underwear. I don't know how you determine that from the album cover. Where's I going with this? So you kind of see behind the cover a little bit on Twitter, and then you get a Gab, and it's like people are just openly, honestly, they say what everyone's thinking. It's so refreshing to get on Gab. Yeah. So the stalker followed me to Discord, then he followed me to Telegram. I think I blocked him on Telegram because he posted the Laverne Coe pictures. You can, if you want to come back, you can come back, but please no more pictures of BLT individuals. Just non-stop. He did that on Discord. Finally, Discord got nicked. And then now he's on Gab. It's like stalk a big channel. Go stalk Ethan. Send him trans pictures. I'm sure he'd be very appreciative of it. Actually, he shaved his head, and it looks pretty sweet. I gotta admit, the shaved head look is it looks like he's ready to go march into battle or something. So all this stuff, Disney, DC, Hollywood, and DC is actually in the news a few times with some kind of garbage they're coming out with. I think they're comics now, and it's like, it wasn't that long ago that I was still going online to keep up on these kind of things. It's been a while. I look at this stuff online now. The sites that I subscribe to, whatever that paid subscription site is that I definitely pay for to read comics. Like, I don't know why anyone is reading any of this stuff. Oh, there's still some good stuff out there. Are you sure about that? Because I do keep tabs on the 2 High Republics comics. They're on issue 12 or 13. They've been bad for 13 issues, and they're going to be bad as long as they continue on, because I think they're both doing the thing. One's doing the vibe of men are bad, and the other one's doing the thing of blonde-haired, green-eyed men are bad, and POC girls are good. That's the thing. The theme is the one comic is male bashing and girl power, but at least it's a blonde-haired girl and a black girl are in the lead. The other one is the blonde-haired, green-eyed boy is bad. He's like, I don't know, like the evil Luke Skywalker, and the POC girls are good. It's literally, they're both called High Republic. One's for kind of a teenagers and one's for tweens or something. The artwork is great, but the storylines are so painfully stupid. Like, a year of this, I look at this and I go, like, how are you making money on this $4 comic? Something is not adding. Oh, we make it up in digital sales. Okay, are you sure about that? Because or are you getting subsidized by Disney? It's like, plot twist, I kind of suspect you're getting subsidized by Disney. Anyway, you probably, if you're into comics at all, and I was not into DC at all, but I will say I had that graphic. I did Batman, of course. Everyone likes Batman. The 86 graphic novel, or I guess it was a collection, that unfortunately I gave away to somebody, which is, I look at it now, it's like, at least it's online. That was so fantastic. That's what this is coming from. You look at that art and you're like, oh, I recognize that from the 86 Batman. Okay, that's from 2016, and don't get me wrong, it's fantastic stuff for sure, but it doesn't have the same vibe as 86. And this is the girl who's in the new thing. She's the red-haired girl. That's the red-haired girl. And nothing against the actor, who's it's just a gig to her. She has no idea about comics. Nothing against her. Go take whatever role is going to be offered for sure. And then this is the 86 vibe. See, the thing with the 86 vibe is, I don't know. It's like trying to explain 86 comics and music from, like, what was in 86. It was just before grunge. There's a lot of like hair metal, and then there was also some legitimate metal coming out there also. And then there was comics like this, and it's like, when they say, oh, things are, another Batman movie, and the joke is they always use gritty to describe it. So the Suicide Squad movie, the first one that came out, I don't know if I'm tired of hearing gritty and dark. It's like, that's just like a filming problem. No, because it's a modern film. It's a modern politically correct film. And like the Suicide Squad Part 2, I know it's not a sequel, but it was like, that's a very bright, I don't know, lavender. I'm not sure how to describe it. Just like fake plastic F-doll type of Hollywood, which is like all of Hollywood you're getting has that kind of fake feeling. So how do I explain 1986 to someone who wasn't even born yet? I mean, there's no way to do it. 1986 was a time period when you legitimately thought the world was going to end in atomic hellfire. Like, that was a very real fear. And people, 911 comes around, and if you're an adult when that happened, as most of you are, or at least an older kid, adults look at 911, it's like, a little terrorist attack. It's, it sucks, but it was 3,000 people, and yeah, don't get me wrong, it was. I have very strong feelings about that event that I can't share on YouTube. But for people who lived through the Cold War, we were living through this fear of nuclear annihilation. Literally, the whole world, all human life on Earth being extinguished in atomic hellfire, just radiation poisoning, just the worst death for all life on Earth. It was like a mass extinction event. That's what people who were duck and cover, kids. There's going to be a bright flash outside. If you're in San Francisco, well, it's you might as well stand up and go run to the window and go face that fly. I don't know. It was a whole different time. So like some of the music, kind of the one video that kind of pops out in my head is "Welcome to the Jungle," which I don't know when that video came out, but it was sometime in the 80s. They're trying to convey a feeling of what city life was like. Or it's like what happened in New York, where there's that girl, that woman was getting killed. And, like, people are just listening to this lady get stabbed to death and just just listening. You know, you think like, that's a country that is in decline. Like, what would you expect me to do? Go run out there and put 2 rounds in the guy's stomach? Oh, well, Liberty devices are illegal in New York. Oh, you know, it's like not my problem. It's like that's not a nation. That's just a commercial zone where you don't care for other people. And anyway, explaining 1986 to people is a trip. So this is this comic, and it was fantastic. I read it as a kid, and I came back. I read it as an adult. As an adult, does it hold up? Yeah, it was good for the time period, but you know, it's a comic. It wasn't super woke like this stuff is now, but you could see, like, comics have always been woke, but they're not for you anymore. So comics, Disney, DC, Marvel, any of the mainstream stuff, none of it is for you. It's like they've completely taken off the mask. It's nothing more than cultural Marxism, Bolshevism, propaganda. And, you know, that phrase, cultural Marxism, the Frankfurt School, it's like a few years ago that would trigger people. And now more and more people are going, so tell me more about this cultural Bolshevism. Who were these Bolsheviks? Well, I have to go back 120 years ago. I don't know where I was going with this. None of this stuff is for you anymore. It's all, it's not really for anyone. It's like books on the shelf that are kind of never meant to be checked out. Why does she have a beer gut? What year is this? 2013. Yeah, by 2013, comics were over. There was some still. Whenever people say stuff about Immortal Hulk, whenever say a comic suck, and they go, Immortal Hulk, I go like, yeah, that was not very good. Al Ewing's first issue. If you want to know like the decline of Immortal Hulk, go read issue number 1 and issue number 11, and try not to. I mean, you can go read it online, so it's not like you're going to tear the thing up. I guess that finally concluded issue number 50. You know, it started off selling 80,000. I don't know what it was selling at the end, but not a whole lot. So, I mean, these days of comics, this vibe of DC at its, was it peak? Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't, comics at its peak, like you can go back in the 50s and 60s, maybe 70s, because in the 60s you have to go back to a time where you had less political correctness, and you had some just sweet stories, especially like the Eastern European vampires and werewolf type of stuff. It seemed to me like that was really good. It was hitting on all 8 cylinders. And then sometime in the night, people were going like, oh, you guys just like those 90s comics. I'd go back even further before that. So the thing with comics is you think like, oh, well, when was the last good setting? It's not that. It's like it obviously just continued to get worse and worse. But like comics haven't been good for a long time. I don't know how the business is structured now. Where I'm assuming it's just like structured on a subsidy basis, where they're not selling on merit. They're just subsidized to keep the IPs alive. Is that accurate? I don't know. Anyway, I like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next episode.